shelter when youngers drop, I don't say it. When I got her out, that's the moment I knew I made it.
Hey, welcome back to a brand new video, and before I begin, if you couldn't tell that the person in the intro wasn't me, that's because my dog is in my room for the day, and as such I'm gonna have to take good care of him. So, if at any point you notice any screams from behind me, I promise I'm treating him perfectly fine, he's safe, he's looked after, and I'm not doing anything that would harm him. He'll be sat right off of camera, so if at any point you spot him, just don't question it. Today's video is going to be discussing JLemonGrass, who is an artist who's worked with MCC, the Minecraft Championships, and multiple different Minecraft creators with a prominent following of over 50,000 followers on Twitter, who was recently exposed for many of the comments they'd made in Russian, which included many insensitive words. And while I'm not going to outright call them racist, transphobic, or anything else, all of these comments are incredibly outlandish and should be called out for, like their comments where they were using the N-word, the homophobic slur, where they invalidated trans identities, and a whole bunch more that I'll show screenshots for later in the video when I get into it. But before I begin, there is one thing that I'd like to make very clear. Obviously, I'm not a person of colour, and I haven't lived through the experiences of people of colour. As such, whenever I mention anything race related, I'll be echoing the points of people of colour so that I can make sure that my opinion is the opinion expressed by the minorities affected by the comments. I hope that is all understood, and with that being said, before I begin, hi, I'm HarleyTBS, I'm a smaller YouTuber, you might know me from being friends with Dream. Had to get that flex in there. Before I begin, if you'd like to consider subscribing to the channel, as I'm aiming for 50k by the end of the year, that would be highly appreciated. You can also check out my other social media down below, and feel free to become a channel member by clicking the join button, as you get one of these three icons and all your money will go right back into this content, and you get a shout out at the end of every video. With that being said, let's delve right into all of JLemonGrass's allegations. To start this video, I'd like to quickly highlight some of the claims made in the initial thread. The initial thread claims that JLemonGrass had used the N-word and homophobic slur multiple times, claiming that only people of colour find racism, and also claiming that Lemongrass had said that people drag the N-word and racism into everything. While simultaneously, they also said that the appearance of people of colour allegedly scared them, and that they weren't a fan of the LGBT movement, and also that they wished people would stop promoting the LGBT, and also saying that fictional lesbian relationships serve as a mockery of gay ones. She also said that she hates LGBTQ and body positivity propaganda on social media, and also they supported incestuous relationships, said they were disgusted by transgenderism, and also said that transgenderism was a mistake of nature. All of these comments, if to be exactly the way they were presented, are incredibly ignorant, incredibly offensive, and incredibly discriminatory, and something that they should definitely address and apologize for. And address they did, apologize, more like excuse. In their response thread, they claimed they didn't know the meaning of the N-word, saying it meant bro in a more negative way. Looking at the sentence that they actually were exposed for saying, who would see the words bitch, bro, what the f, and think that makes any sense in any connotation? The sentence does not make sense under that explanation. Furthermore, the other usage of the N-word and their discussions of racism highlight a clear understanding of the issue. However, they continued to use the N-word nonetheless. And I wouldn't hold an issue with it if they were learning from it and it was in the past. However, they continued to justify their behavior with excuses, which is an issue I hold. They furthermore claim that, in correction to the Genshin claim, they aren't actually scared of people of colour. However, they thought certain aspects of people of colour looked weird, and that they posted it to get their audience's opinion, which seems incredibly ignorant to how insulting comments degrading the appearance of people of colour are. They also claim that they didn't know a lot about the LGBTQ when they made their posts about the LGBTQ, and I highly doubt that, considering they made other posts about LGBTQ plus couples, fetishizing romance between men and more within months of the original post. They also addressed their support of incestuous content, saying they thought there was nothing wrong with incestuous content, which is a point they also argue later in their thread, asking people to explain to them the issue with blood-related incest between brothers. I hope I don't have to address the problem there. They also addressed their transphobic comments, saying that they thought it was bad for the body to switch, and stating that trans people didn't educate them, which isn't something that trans people should be expected to do. You should educate yourself before making distasteful comments on serious topics. They also addressed their comments talking about lesbian relationships in cartoons being a mockery of gay ones, justifying themselves with the excuse that they were upset because a pairing wasn't shown over a lesbian pairing, ignoring the statement mockery of gay ones, which was an incredibly distasteful comment. And they also justify their usage of the homophobic slur with an excuse that they thought it wasn't an insult and asking people to explain that to them, which I personally doubt. I genuinely do doubt that a person in the Minecraft YouTube fanbase was not aware of the offensive usage of a homophobic slur that so many creators have been called out for in the past few months in that community. That seems ignorant at best. Furthermore, they claim that they never thought about it in an offensive way, like they'd never heard it used in that way. What other way do you use the homophobic slur? They also addressed their comments on LGBTQ propaganda, claiming they were annoyed because body positivity didn't work for them. The fact they don't address the comments of them calling LGBTQ propaganda sickening here seems questionable at best. Furthermore, even under their justification, I don't see how they'd tie LGBTQ plus propaganda and body positivity propaganda together while they don't address the LGBTQ propaganda issue. Why does their issue with body positivity propaganda have any relation to why they said that LGBTQ plus propaganda was sickening? They then addressed their transphobic comments, claiming that they didn't know why they cared about others' business, not addressing the inherent message in their comments that trans people should just love themselves the way they are, saying incorrect facts as a reason people shouldn't transition. They also excused them, saying that transgenderism is a mistake of nature and more, justifying those comments with the excuse that they just thought comics represented trans people poorly, and that's what they were talking about. Considering the comment they're actually addressing here, this doesn't seem to be the case at all, as their comment literally says that transgenderism is a mistake of nature. That's not related to comics in any way, and I find it ridiculous the way they've tried to tie that to comics. This seems like an excuse. They then end this thread by saying that their opinion has changed, and also saying they can't change their past, which is true, and I personally don't hold the opinion that someone should be held permanently to past comments they've made if they've educated themselves on it, and I'm not the type to blast someone for comments they've learned from. However, given they've made excuses for everything they've done, made justifications with ridiculously outlandish explanations for all of their behaviour, and more, I doubt that they actually have learned at this time. However, if they have learned, I hope that they can show that to their audience with time, and if they do show that they've actually learned, changed, and understand what was wrong with their prior statements, I hope that they can return to their community. However, obviously some people aren't going to forgive them, and people are within their right not to. In response to their thread, Scott from the Minecraft Championships made a thread explaining that they would be looking into the evidence and that MCC is supposed to be a supportive and inclusive place for all, claiming that while they aren't in charge of the MCC and it isn't their decision to make on this information, that they would be having a meeting upon the learning of this information. This meeting led to a post from the MCC account. This post explained that the MCC team would be disconnecting from this artist and won't be promoting their work, as the MCC apparently stands for equality, calling for people to allow the artist to learn and not to harass them upon the learning of this information, which is a level-headed and logical response to this information. And as obviously this tweet highlights, the K-pop stans did what they do best, which was making replies telling people to choke on glass and sending death threats of all varieties to JLemonGrass, which led to JLemonGrass's account going private. However, it was also noted that JLemonGrass deleted their Twitter thread responding to the allegations before going private, which should highlight that they realized their thread either wasn't that good or that they realized no one was buying their thread. Multiple people of color also spoke out about this response, throwing in their opinions or own experiences with JLemonGrass. The one experience I'd like to note is an artist who was blocked by JLemonGrass after asking them why they drew Quackity as the palest in an MCC art piece in the past, despite Quackity being the only person of color in that team, which seems like a very harsh response to a valid concern. You shouldn't block someone for having an issue or questioning you on a suspicious or questionable decision you've made. Hey, we're at the end of the video now, and as you know, as you could probably tell now, these videos take a lot of time to research, produce, edit, and all of that shit. So, if you could consider subscribing to the channel to help me reach 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, that would be highly appreciated. And obviously, I would love to hear your opinions down below if you'd like to leave a comment telling me your thoughts on this video. If you could subscribe to the channel, it would mean more than I could possibly explain to you, as I've been working at this channel for 6 years now, and to see it taking off in the way it is with such a supportive and incredible community is absolutely mind-boggling. You guys have given me so much, and I really do appreciate it, and I hope the content gives back to you as well and informs you on situations in a way that actually helps you understand them and gives you an unbiased, neutral view on them. If you could consider also checking out my other social media, I give my point of view in a lot more situations on my other social media, and also I just let you see more of my life on my social media. So if that sounds like something you'd like to see, feel free to check out those platforms as well. And finally, if you'd like to become a channel member, like the people on screen right now, that would be highly appreciated, and you'll be shouted out at the end of every video. Thank you to everyone who's been donating to the channel. I'll read out your names next video. Sadly, I don't have the list up at the moment, and as such, I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching, thank you for supporting me, thank you for continuing to check out all these videos, and I hope that this video has helped change your mind on the situation, or helped you build your opinion on it. With that being said, thank you for watching, I'll see you next time, peace.
Says she wanna rock with it like me. I'm a stylish guy. Spend a little guap with it like me. We can catch a fly. Says she wanna rock with it like me.